This time in Goss's Garage, we're going to talk about some of the paperwork that you might see when you take your car in to have a repair done. Well, you might see it, you might not, but you should see most of this. All right, now the first thing, when you drop off your car, there should be some type of input information sheet that you fill out. Now, that sheet should require your year, make, model of car, your name, your address, but most importantly, a good phone number, because if you're going to drop off your car and they're going to check it out and then they're going to call you with an estimate or to get additional information, you need to put a good phone number on this form. Now, along with that, you're going to spell out on this form what you want the shop to do. Now, there's two ways to go about this. One is to describe a particular problem that you have that you want diagnosed and repaired. The other thing is to give them a list of things that are required from the owner's manual. One thing you don't do is you don't self-diagnose and ask for a particular repair, because if you think that an alignment or a tune-up or whatever is going to correct something, you put it on there, do alignment, they're going to do an alignment. And if it doesn't work, that's on your dime. So specific things from the owner's manual, or list the problem. Don't tell them what to repair. Then, in most states, you'll find that there's going to be some kind of a requirement for what are called customer rights. In other words, do you want your old parts back if they aren't needed for a core deposit or something like that? They want to ask if you want a written estimate, and if the estimate is exceeded by 10% or more, do you want them to proceed, or do you want them to call you first? Well, these are things that are very important, and they're for your protection. So you should fill all of them out. All right, now, once you get through that part of it, and you get your car entered into the system, because today data input is part of all of these repair shops' infrastructure. In other words, here we have a situation where we can't enter a car unless we have certain critical information, like the vehicle identification number and things like that. So it's important that you get all of this right. All right, now, once you've done that, the car comes into the shop. The technician, well, they're typically going to get something like what we have here. This is an estimate sheet where the technician checks things, and then the amount of labor and so on is entered into it by the service advisor and so on. And this gives the people who write the estimates and so on, it gives them the information that they need to write an accurate estimate. All right, so those are two pieces that you might see, or you should see. And of course, once all is said and done, then you should get something like this. This is a completed invoice. Now, you'll notice that we have line items, because everything that was done to the car should be spelled out line by line, part by part. There should be the quantity, in other words, the quantity of labor hours to do that part, the number of parts, like 6 spark plugs or whatever, and it should be line by line so that you can read down through it and you know exactly what has been done to your car. Now, this is important. Just something scrawled on a scrap piece of paper doesn't cut it anymore. And this is for your protection. Now, also, you'll find all of the extensions on here and the totals, total labor, total, all of these different things. So, I want to make sure you get something like this, and this should go into the permanent file on your car. All right, those are the boilerplate things. Now, in addition to that, here we have a warranty, and you should get some form of written warranty that explains what the shop's terms are, what they'll cover, what you have to cover, and so on, and the duration of any warranty and what you're obligated to do. Like this one says that most everything is covered, but there is one vital requirement, and that is that you call the shop first to let them know that there's a problem so they can decide, do they have the car towed or do they pay for another shop that's closer to you to fix it? So read it and follow its directions. Now, here's something that every shop should provide for you. And when you come in for, say, an oil change, there's going to be various things that should be done on all cars at a given time or mileage. And this is a time or mileage, whichever comes first, the time or the mileage, list of services. Now you can take this and you can plan what you need to do over the next year simply by looking at the miles on your car and how many months it's been in service, or how many months since the last service. So you should be receiving something like this so that you know what you might expect over the next year, so you can plan what you may need. And finally, here we have something that a lot of shops don't offer, but they should. This is an evaluation form. Now, all of these items are different parts of the car, and a technician will go over the car, check each one of these items. Is it good? Does it need repair? Does it need replacement? And so on. And by doing this once or twice a year, what you'll find is that you'll be able to deal with the things that are going bad and the things that are bad right now. So what do you do with this? Well, the things that are bad right now, you get it in the shop and you get them fixed. The things that are going bad, well, you start planning for that and budgeting for those things because you can get an estimate based on this. And then you schedule relative to what your car needs and what you can afford. Something that you should look for. It saves a ton of money and unexpected breakdowns over a period of time. So those are some of the forms that you might come in contact with. And if you have a question or a comment, how about dropping me a line right here at radio@goss-garage.com.